Hello, everybody. This is Denise Barrett. I'm the host of The Real Deal and a licensed realtor and land broker here in North Texas. Here on The Real Deal, we cover tons of topics for both buyers and sellers of residential real estate and land, and a lot of those are fun to talk about. And this is not one of those, but it is really important. I want to take a minute to talk to sellers about a couple of documents that need to be addressed right at the beginning of the process. So if we're looking at the timeline of listing a property for sale, this happens right as you have completed signing the listing agreement with the realtor. They're going to hand you a 4-page document here in Texas called the seller's disclosure. As the name implies, this is where the seller discloses or provides information that are specific to the property that's being offered for sale. Now, this is not a random document. It is governed by the Texas Property Code and is to be taken quite seriously because sellers are held responsible for the information. So, what's on here? There are sections that talk about the systems associated with the property. In the kitchen, for example, is there a cooktop? Is there a range? Is there a refrigerator? Talks about air conditioning and heating. How is that working? Is it electric or is it gas? And those sorts of things. It also talks about the condition of those things, the condition of the elements of the property, like what's going on in the kitchen or the air conditioner and so forth, but also the property itself. It's going to ask you as the seller, are you aware of any problems? If so, what have you experienced? Now, this is not something that you should take into heart thinking, oh my God, I need to know everything about this property. You are responsible for disclosing information that you are personally aware of. This does not mean you need to go do extra inspections on your own to find out all the nuts and bolts about the property. What you are to do is disclose information at your disposal. Now, there are yes and no and I don't know columns for these questions, and they're shown over here. It is okay not to know the answer, but I will caution you not to be lazy. If you've lived in a property for 5 or 10 years or so, you're going to know the answers to these questions. But let's say you are handling an estate and you are the executor and you have to deal with selling a property that you have never lived in. There may be a number of issues that you simply don't know the answer to, and that's okay. We will disclose why you don't know the answers to those questions. This is really important for buyers. And this document was designed for the protection of buyers. It's to let them know everything that they can possibly know about a property. And if there is an issue, maybe they want to have a professional take a look at it. Maybe they want to have further investigations done, because some of these things affect the value of a property. And that's something that we need to hit head on. It's not something to be cautious about or kind of cagey about or nervous about. It is what it is. The property is what it is. You're selling it and they have the right to know what they're buying. So if you have any questions about what the document is asking, touch base with your realtor. They'll help you walk through it. They cannot complete this document for you at all. This is something that you have to complete on your own and sign on your own. So there's that. The second document that you may have to address right here at the beginning of the process is a survey on the property. If you purchased the property and you had a lender, closed at a title company, chances are you were provided a copy of the survey at that time. So you're going to have to dig through your paperwork and find that information. If you can't find it, it's not the end of the world. If you can contact the title company that closed on your property, they will most likely have a copy of that survey and be able to provide it to you. And this is something that you want to provide to the buyers. Now, if you have a copy of the survey and it's kind of fuzzy and it's kind of wonky like this, that's not going to work. The survey needs to be completely legible. It has to indicate which way is north. I know that's up, but for my purposes, it's north. It has to be recorded in that it has a stamp on it by the surveyor. It is signed and dated by the surveyor, and it indicates that the survey was made on the ground, meaning that the surveyor was on the property when he did the survey, not just taking information from Google Earth and writing it down on a piece of paper. So that's going to be important to provide. If you don't have one, that's okay. In the contract, you will have negotiated who's going to be responsible for obtaining a survey. So other than the buyer, who cares? The lender cares because he wants to know what they're putting their money up on, and the title company wants to know because as they're doing their research, they want to make sure that they understand where the boundaries of the property are and who owns the land within that boundary. If for some reason either one of those rejects the survey, a new one is going to have to be ordered. It's not the end of the world, but it's something that you need to be made aware of. Now, if you have a survey, there is a document that your realtor will have you have notarized and signed. It's called the T-47 affidavit. Basically, it says, I'm aware that there's a survey. I'm giving to you the survey, and I am telling you that as of the date of that survey, nothing has changed, or something has changed, and here's what's changed. And both the lender and the title company will take a look at that document to determine whether a new survey is needed. See, this wasn't all that awful. These are some really important documents. If you'd like to have a glimpse of what they look like, I'll be more than happy to put some in the comments here, give you some idea of what it is that they take a look at. If you have any other specific questions that you would like us to address, by all means, leave it in the comments section below. We are more than happy to take a look at those and provide information to you. That's what we're here for. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.